Hello, this is RD, rdauditors.com. So basically just wanted to give you an update of what's happening here. We just heard some news actually earlier this morning, and this actually happened yesterday. There was a kidnapping attempt of Binance France CEO. So Binance is probably one of the largest centralized exchanges in the crypto space. They have billions of dollars in assets. They're doing transactions of billions of dollars on a daily basis. So they're a huge, 800-pound gorilla basically in the space. So they have divisions, or they have certain entities throughout Europe and other parts of the world. And basically the CEO of the French division that they have, there was an attempt of targeted homejacking that took place. So it basically said that 3 masked attackers entered a residential building in the Val-de-Marne area. I've been to France a few times, so I'm not aware of this specific area. I'm sure it's quite a desirable area. So looking for the Binance France CEO. So fortunately for him, he wasn't at home, so they left, taking 2 phones. So they actually invaded the house. They took 2 phones, clearly thinking that, whether that's the case or not, that he basically had his wallets right there, maybe funds in a hot wallet. Maybe somehow they can basically intercept and find if he managed to save some of the seed phrases, or I don't know. So clearly I hope that this individual had OPSEC in place, but who knows, right? So later the same day, the same group tried again in another location. So clearly they probably had the 2 phones, maybe realized that they couldn't either gain access to the phones, or there was no way there was no wallets or apps on that phone. And then they tried again in another location, but law enforcement tracked them via surveillance and arrested them in Lyon. So clearly, based on the first raid, probably they contacted the police or whoever, and then they were monitoring the movements. So this incident shows how crypto executives have become it's a massive issue now. And it's quite funny because, yes, crypto is basically on mainstream news, media, everyone knows about it. A large percentage of residents in countries like, not a large, but quite a significant percentage based on where we are today compared to 10 years ago, that hold crypto, right? I think in America, 10% of at least 10% of the population hold some form of crypto, or they've transacted in crypto. If you look at other locations like Turkey, that accounts for the volume that's transacted of stablecoins, accounts for like 4% of their GDP, right? So there's a lot going on. People know, and it also means that there's a lot of individuals that are well known or work for entities that are well known, such as Binance, that clearly they feel that because he works for Binance, he probably is earning a lot of money. Maybe he invested early, right? And he's holding a lot of Bitcoin, for example, or Solana or ETH, or whatever it may be. So they're massive targets, right? And this is a shame. So you can't basically live in peace, and you basically have your target, moving target, as they say. And it's not just France has had a massive rise over the last year, but if you take a look at the whole kidnappings that has taken place, we could basically also see that with these kidnappings, you could see situations whereby, well, if we go to this, potential crypto-related kidnappings and thefts targeting high-profile individuals. You can see broad estimates from within 3 years that basically kidnapping, robberies, and home invasions have taken place, and it's spiked higher. There's actually been 49 documented kidnappings linked to cryptocurrency theft up through mid-2025. So this is only the ones where the victim has actually contacted the police or a federal agency and just said what's happened. And I'm sure there's probably even more than this, where there was an attempt or maybe something actually occurred, but they didn't actually go to the police, right? Then another source reported that 27 physical incidents have taken place, kidnappings, burglaries, robberies, and so on and so forth. And high profile, it's always related to high profile because they clearly know that, okay, if you're connected to a well-known exchange or if you basically were a founder of a startup within the space and now that startup has, I don't know, $1 billion valuation, for example, or has humongous transactions that's going through, clearly that you're going to be a target. And here it says David Balland and his wife, co-founder of Ledger, they were kidnapped and held for ransom in France. France is just, I don't know what's going on here. The father of another wealthy crypto entrepreneur was abducted in Paris in May 2025. A crypto investor in Las Vegas was abducted and forced to surrender about $4 million in cryptocurrencies and NFTs. A kidnapping torture incident in New York targeted an individual and crypto holdings. French authorities have noted multiple kidnappings and attempted abductions of crypto executives. So what you're seeing is a rise of, in certain locations where unemployment has, I think really the cost of living has really gone up, right, all over the world. And this is giving rise to people who are maybe don't have the capital to be able to even pay their bills or struggling. They're now moving into, finding ways that they could via way of making money illicitly, right? Illegally. And this seems to be ways that they find is the easiest way that they can make money via kidnapping, right? Identifying high profile individuals and then locating obviously where they abode and reside, and then looking to find ways that they could kidnap. So it's just a sad state of affairs. And it just also tells you need to be very careful. For those that are in the medium whereby it's difficult for them to conceal in terms of being anonymous, yes, it's hard, but you then need to really have OPSEC in place, understand, even to a point of, how much am I holding? Do I have any crypto apps? You might even have to beef up your security, right, in locations. Having your camera in place, right, in terms of Ring camera, security, hiring. So this is really steps that you have to take. And also for those that are made a fortune, it also seems now because of social media, everyone wants to floss. Everyone wants to show off, right? Set up a YouTube channel and show, look at me, I've got, all the flashy trappings that come with being successful in crypto. You want to then show, but then also it means that there's people out there that are looking to take that from you. So you need to be really, really careful. So this just gives you a heads up. Be careful. Make sure that you have all of the checks in place. If you're going to have apps on your phone, make sure that you have the 2FA set up. Make sure that you don't have a sufficient amount in your hot wallets. Make sure you have cold wallets. And also with cold wallets, make sure your seed phrases, make sure they're not just located and saved on a notepad on your phone, right? So you have to be extremely careful now. So anyway, if you like this information, please like, subscribe, and follow. And if you need any security audit, we're actually building a very, very interesting tool, which is and I'm going to probably talk more about this in the next video, which is basically a phishing detector tool. So over the period of last year, $85 million were lost via address poisoning scams. So via phishing your hot wallet via MetaMask, Brave, or whatever it may be, Phantom. So we are building quite an interesting, innovative tool to be able to hopefully really provide protection for users, starting focusing on Ethereum. And we really want to just help out as we've always done since we've been around for the last 5 years, and we will not stop. We have a lot of tools. Go to our site. We have a lot of free tools that we help developers, we help users. We also provide audits, penetration testing, and we're now in the process of building out this interesting tool. So anyway, have a great day.